For this video, I want to very briefly describe my expectations for the Henry V Research Extension essay. The way this assignment works is that each individual in our class will be responsible for one of the essays in the Henry V essay column over on the right of our syllabus. And what you do when your essay comes up is, and you'll probably want to have a little bit of time in advance to have read the essay and so on, but you'll locate the essay, read the essay critically, develop a couple of discussion questions about that essay that you'll post to a bulletin board on Blackboard. And those questions might be useful in generating some discussion among your classmates. All of your classmates will be reading the same essay, of course, and so they may have some thoughts in response to your questions. And then the bulk of what you're doing here is producing an essay in which you try to critique, that is not necessarily criticize in a negative way, but evaluate the essay that you've selected or that has been assigned to you. I'm hoping you'll select one. As part of that evaluation, what you'll need to do is to read that essay carefully, find out other critics that essay is in dialogue with, and that means looking through the essay and seeing who is the primary author, the main author that you're dealing with, setting up his or her argument against or in some kind of dialogue with. And then also to see if there are other critics who might be writing on a similar topic. And then to produce your own essay using some of that other secondary research as a way of evaluating the article that you have selected or been assigned. So basically what you need to do is to read that article that you select, read the article that person is that you think that person is most in dialogue with, and then do a little bit of MLA searching to find at least two other critics who write in some way similar to or on a topic similar to what the central argument of your article is, and then to write essentially a sort of a 5-page response to the main article, describing what the argument of that article is, describing the argument that person is in dialogue with, and then looking at how other people might have responded to this same question or topic that central author has been talking about. And adding in some of your own thoughts about the quality, the value, the insights of that central article. So you'll produce a paper. At the very end, you'll produce a paper that's about 5 pages long. It'll have on its works cited at least 4 pieces of secondary criticism. One piece will be the one that you have selected or has been assigned. One will be an article that was published before that central article that you think that this person is in dialogue with. And then 2 of the other sources will be additional relevant articles about Henry V that look at some of the same kinds of questions and topics that your main article has been about. You may also obviously have Henry V on your works cited, since you may be launching your own kind of critique of that central essay, and you may want to refer to Henry V itself to talk about the strengths or weaknesses, where the argument might break down, that kind of thing. The essay that you'll produce is due a week after the essay that everybody has been reading. So just as a hypothetical, let's say that you select the very first essay. It's Norman Rabkin's essay on Henry V, which is due, everyone's going to be reading that article and discussing it for September the 13th. If you selected that essay, you would find it earlier than that, read it, write up some questions that you think might elicit some interesting discussion and post those on the bulletin board, in advance of September the 13th. And then you would set to work on writing an essay. You would read through the Rabkin essay and see, who is Rabkin in dialogue with. And then you would go to the MLA bibliography and you would see if some of the things that Rabkin talks about there might point to a couple of other articles about Henry V, and you would look up those other articles. Don't pick up too many, just pick 2 or 3, at least 2, but possibly 3. And then write a 5-page essay in which you explain Rabkin's argument, explain who he's responding to, and then look at how other people have responded to the same kinds of topics and questions that Rabkin is raising, and then write your own evaluation. Is Rabkin's way of thinking about Henry V a useful way of thinking about the play? Where does this argument have its strengths? Where does it sound most convincing? Are there places where you find this unconvincing or unhelpful? Would you be able to use Rabkin as a way of thinking about Henry V, given how other people have responded to the same topic? Okay, so I hope that makes sense. And again, be sure to sign up right away for the article that you want to try to deal with, and get to work on that as soon as you feel comfortable.